All right, let's move on to our last topic of episode 214. We're going to talk about what possibly is the biggest piece of DLC to release in 2020, and that is Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. I have not played a minute of this. Matt, have you played it at all?
I've played the new characters. I have not played the campaign, the new story at all.
Okay, so Mitch has dove headfirst into Aftermath. He's played through all the content. He's played through the story mode, everything else. So he's going to kind of lead this discussion. To get things going, Mitch, what's your overarching opinion of the Aftermath DLC?
To be upfront, I bought this as a combo with the base game, so I only paid $60 for
Total,
the base game. Yes, the base
Okay.
game included the first combat pack that came out and this DLC, where the DLC by itself is $40. And if you want the combat pack with it, like if you just only had the base game and you want all the DLC going forward, you have to pay $50. So if you haven't played this game before, you should go buy this game immediately.
Yeah, because you can get all of it for $60.
And the content's good. It's really, really good. Like everything together, it's a good cohesive bundle. If you're paying $40 for it, I would just say if you're a big fan of the campaign and you really liked the plot like I did, I liked how campy it is. I love the characters, and it kind of reminds me similar to like the MCU of getting all the bands back together and taking on evil. This has more of those elements in there, and so if you liked that, you're going to love this. So for sure, definitely do it. But if you are on the fence, I would wait.
Now we're talking about the financial side of this, because with this game in particular, it's a huge deal because they have been charging insane amounts of money for DLC. How much was the first combat pack? Was that $40?
That was $40.
Yeah. So you buy the base game for $60. And look, if you bought Mortal Kombat 11 launch month, you're a fan. You're a fan of Mortal Kombat. You like NetherRealm's games. So let's say you did that. You bought the base game for $60. Then you bought the first combat pack, which had what, 5 fighters? Is that right?
Yes.
5 fighters, the first combat pack, $40. Now, here comes this one. Another $40, where you get some more fighters and you get an expansion to the story. At this point, you have spent $140 for all the content in Mortal Kombat 11 that Mitch just paid $60 for.
Yeah.
That, to me, is shocking. It's not shocking to me that a studio would do that. It's shocking that it's coming from NetherRealm. I had missed that the first combat pack was $40.
I think I forgot that because I think I bought like the ultra deluxe version when it came out, like which is $100.
Yeah.
Which is $40 for the pass,
$60.
plus
yeah, you
the
got
$60
no
for the
deal
game.
whatsoever. Nope. And again, I love NetherRealm. I love everything they stand for. I love the people that work there. I am blown away by this, and I don't know if it's the publisher.
It's the publisher.
This. I mean, it's Warner Brothers, who, by the way, has pretty much got caught up in shady DLC practices from the beginning.
Yeah, I have zero doubt in my mind that this is Warner Brothers. And one of the weird things about this is like Warner Brothers is weird about this because they do like these high DLC prices and they do these big bundles when the game comes out that don't save you any money. But they also drop the price pretty fast. Like you could get Mortal Kombat 11 for a pretty low price at the last few like sales, like holiday sale last year, like spring sale. Like they were pretty slashed on the prices, and then they come back and like put this out, and Aftermath is $40 or $60 for everything with the game, and like they're selling the game for like $20 with everything included pretty much at this point. Like if you wait on these games, you're gonna get a pretty damn good deal. The problem is, and they know this, Warner Brothers knows this, if you are trying to play Mortal Kombat or any fighting game competitively and you wait, you lose. You can't. You got to keep up with the tech. Like
you can't play competitively and wait. You can't.
So they know they got you on that one. And I do think that Warner Brothers routinely overprices their DLC. That was, I think, the Shadow of War DLC
I
was
think
overpriced.
the reason that Warner Brothers does this is because it only puts out like one game every 2 years.
That's part of it.
It's kind of found itself in the Bethesda role where you really need to make a lot of money off of every game you release, or you're kind of screwed.
And there's like a weird thing,
Warner
like,
Brothers is.
so I didn't know this until I went to, I was doing the thing on Steam last week where they did the thing where like spring cleaning or whatever, and like you clicked on the little levels of the house and it suggested a game for you to play, and you played it and you got like a badge or whatever. And one of the games it suggested I play was Arkham Origins, which I have never played. I own on Steam, but I've never played it on Steam. And I loaded it up. I'm like, okay, I'll load that up and get the badge and do it. So I did the thing, and I look and it tried to sell me DLC, and I was like, do I not have the DLC for this? Because I'm sure I bought it on like some sale thing. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I never got the season pass for that or anything. I guess it wasn't part of the Steam sale or whatever. And I look it up, and the DLC pass is like $30 still.
Yeah.
For Arkham Origins. Like,
It should be like $2. Like, you should be happy to get $2 out of that at this point.
It's like when I would go back to like, if I wanted to play like Mass Effect again on PC, and I looked it up on the Origin store a few years ago, and like all the DLC was still full price. Like they still wanted like $19.99 for Bring Down the Sky or something. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, very weird. Like, it's just so out of step with how everything else is priced in the DLC realm. Like you're supposed to nickel and dime me, not $5 bill.
Right.
You know,
you do bring up a good point, though. I mean, as far as like how they handle their business with fighting games in particular, fighting games are very different. It's like,
there's a big timeliness element to them.
Look, and it's not even just like, oh, I didn't get RoboCop and I need RoboCop to be competitive. It's also that they're adding new stages that you need to learn how to fight on. They're tweaking stuff. They're changing the balance. They're changing.
Which actually, the stage thing normally isn't a big deal in because stages and backgrounds.
Right.
But in the NetherRealms games, there are specific locations for background interaction. You have to learn and know where you are and how to use them.
Yep. And so you start thinking about all that stuff. It's like they know that they have fighting game players by the nads, because if you tweak the frames on one attack from one character and that's your main, suddenly you're not so good with your main anymore. So the good news, I will say, though, is that along with the Aftermath update, they also released a free update. Mitch, can you run down everything that came for free?
Yeah, everything with free was friendships for every character, including the new ones that are on the expansion. New stages, those are free. Vincent asked about that. Yes, they are free for the stages. Stage fatalities, balance tweaks, and a lot of just little quality of life type things.
Okay. So you're getting, how many, what were there, 3 stages total? 3 new ones?
I believe it was 2. But
2. And both of those are retro stages.
Yeah, I think I'm literally playing on one right now. The one I have on the B-roll. But I would say if this thing was $20, I would say go get it right now. Everyone just go get it right now. $30, I would be like, okay, most people should get it.
Wait. Let's talk about the story first before we start talking about the money again.
But the story, it takes place directly at the end of the base game, literally right at the end. It actually
does it even have like the last cinema from the base game?
It kind of does actually.
Yeah,
it takes a little. It's almost like when you go in the menu, it actually is labeled as Part 1, Part 2. So Part 2 is Aftermath. So when you click on that, it just literally the chapter sequence is picked up right after that. It's not chapter 1 anymore. It's chapter 13. So, or chapter 14. I can't remember which one it starts, but it's 5 chapters, about 3 hours long total of content. And it has, the thing I really like about it has the high production value of the original campaign. It's not a side story. It is definitely a cohesive story coming together, and it does tie everything in a knot in the end with a bow. And it actually leads up to me wanting to play the next game and being like, okay, I'm ready for the next game in the series.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
I am pretty impressed. So one of the reasons I haven't played this yet is because I decided to go back through the other Mortal Kombats and play them again before I want to basically go through 9, 10, 9, 10, and 11, and then go into Aftermath and play the whole Mortal Kombat saga, basically.
I'm actually, sorry, Matt, I'm happy you said that, because on GameFace, when you said they were a trilogy, before I played Mortal Kombat 11, I watched the cutscenes from 9 and 10, and I'm so happy I did because 11
That might be a smarter thing to do, actually.
Yeah, definitely. So.
11 is very much the result of what happens in 9 and 10. I remain very impressed by the fact that NetherRealm not only reinvented the series with 9, but like rebooted the whole story without decanonizing anything. They just they just used time travel to fix their whole canon, and like it's real good. Like it's the best story. I mean, it's not saying much the best story in fighting games, but it is the best story in fighting games. Like,
for sure. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's and all these characters have like distinct motivations, distinct personalities, and like who they are, and like. It's cool to see them come back in the next game, and there's like plot elements planted in 9 that don't pay off until 11. Like it's and I'm sure that wasn't all part of the. I'm sure they weren't planning like 9 years out to do that. But it's like, they make it work.
This thread, let's tie it up.
Yeah, they improvise very effectively to the point that it feels planned, and that's just as good as actually planning it sometimes.
How did you guys like playing with RoboCop?
I think RoboCop's fun.
Nah.
he's a big, slow, lumbering thing, but he has just a whole bunch of references to the movie rolled into one. And
are they revoiced or are they from the movie?
He's voiced by Peter Weller, but it's new recordings.
Okay, so they didn't just sample the films; he re-recorded the lines.
It's all new dialogue, and of course it has to be because one of the NetherRealm's trademarks is when the two fighters come out, they trade dialogue that is almost always specific to the other character.
Right. That's right.
Actually, that's one of the coolest things about this is it finally gives you the opportunity to, like I always say, the big 4 sci-fi R-rated movies of the 80s were Aliens, Terminator, RoboCop, and Predator. And Predator and Alien were in the last Mortal Kombat. Now you have Terminator and RoboCop. And it's actually Arnold Schwarzenegger and Peter Weller trash talking each other before the fucking fight. That's great. That is great.
That is great.
Like I know it's old Arnold, like from the Dark Fate movie, but it's awesome to see him come up and Arnold's just like what model are you? And RoboCop's like, I'm a cop, Terminator, and he says, I am not subject to human law, and like it's just like it's fucking great. Like it's a cheap. It's not worth paying $40 for it.
Well, of course not, but
it's just like
a cheap thrill.
RoboCop's talking trash with the Joker. Like there's some neat shit in here, just in terms of like fanboying out on things.
I will say with Matt with the voice acting that the voice actor Shang Tsung from the movie returns in this one, and he steals every scene. This DLC is mainly focused on Shang Tsung, and everyone knows him as a deceptive character, and they play on that so well that the facial animation with him is great. There are constant moments where not dialogue, just non-dialogue moments where just his facial expression sells the moment, and you're like, wow. I mean, it almost made everyone.
Why did you not like RoboCop?
I didn't like RoboCop because when he was too much of a distance character, and it's really hard to keep people at a distance. When he gets too close to people, he doesn't have much fluidity, and so it became really difficult to try to do combos. A lot of his combos have to do with coming from far away, and if you're going to get up close, you need to do a combo like boosting your jetpack to run into the opponent, and then you can pummel them because they're a little bit stunned. But if you're going to go in with a fist, it's not going to really work with RoboCop. But if you have Shiva.
No, she was an old character, though.
She is an old character, but she is with the DLC pack, and she is up close and personal. She gets in your face. She's big on grapples. I think she has like 5 different grappling moves that I've been able to figure out, and that's more than any character I've experienced so far with playing the game. And she just, I think people that are newer to the series might like her more because she has a little more fluidity with close combat. And then the last one that character-wise is Fujin, and he's a mixture of the two. He's a lot more flashier. Excuse me. And I would say the biggest thing for him is his combos are a lot more complicated, but when you do them, they are so cool, and it makes you feel like a badass. So
cost-benefit analysis.
Exactly. So he's going to be the one that you're going to spend a lot of time trying to figure out, but it's definitely going to be worth it in the end. I'm trying to think of anything else for plot.
I mean, that's basically the rundown. Is like RoboCop's a zoner, Shiva is a grappler, and Fujin is controlling space.
Yep.
He has some stuff that actually lets you push the character closer to you to like then start up something on it.
You can like pull the character.
Yeah, because he's the wind god, so he can like use the wind to like blow you towards him and stuff like that, and then knock you away. Like he's very good at like pulling you in and then knocking you out.
Okay.
And I'm also impressed by Fujin. He's not a new character, but all the stuff I think in this is new animation. I'm impressed by him because you can see how he fights similarly to Raiden, who is the lightning god. You know, they're both old elder gods.
They're brothers.
But he fights differently, but you can tell that they're kind of from the same school. Like there's almost
they're brothers. Mish just said.
Yeah, there's a family resemblance in how they fight that I think is a nice little subtle touch that doesn't have to be there, but it is.
Yeah.
So Mitch, you said $20 is the most you would pay for this DLC?
Yeah, I would probably pay more $20 at most. But if you really, really love it, like I would have paid $40 for it personally because I really liked the story, and this story is just as good. And the 3
you don't
hours
feel bad having spent $40 on it,
for
but you also
plot,
hadn't already spent $100 on it.
If I already spent $100, I might be thinking about it. But
you might be a little salty.
You're probably more willing to do it anyways. Because
that's the thing, though. It's like once you're in for 100, that extra 40 maybe doesn't seem so bad. I mean, that's the psychology that these companies are playing off of. So it's dirty, but.
Last thing we didn't mention was there are skins. So in this one, you do get a three skin packs. In the combat
and those matter.
DLC, you got skins as well.
Yep.
Oh, and I guess there was a correction there that is not Arnold doing the voice in this.
Okay.
But he did do the voice in some other thing he was in as the Terminator recently.
Oh, probably that Terminator game that just came out.
It wasn't Terminator. It was Predator. That's what he did the voice. He did Dutch in the Predator game. I'm mixing up my 80s sci-fi nostalgic cash grabs.
Yep. So it sounds like
it's fine.
If you're a hardcore MK player, you already bought it. So you don't even want to listen to us. If you're a casual player, I think all of us are struggling to tell you to spend a full $40 on it.
I kind of wish they'd split it up and like it was like $20 for the story and $20 for the new characters.
Yeah, but I think we would all agree that the deal that Mitch got, where you get both packs, the base game for $60, go buy it right now. If you don't have
the game at all, it's a no-brainer.
Now. Yeah, you're getting the deal of the century, and it'll definitely hold you over for a couple weeks until The Last of Us gets here, if you're not going to play Xenoblade Chronicles. So there you go. Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. I think it's the last DLC.
I think there might. Yeah, I think there's got to be it, right?
I mean,
they didn't say anything about more. They didn't say anything about more characters, right? It's just these three.
No. I mean, to my knowledge, to my research, I haven't seen anything of them reporting extra characters.
There's been some data mining that has suggested there might still be other characters to come.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've seen, but the story definitely ends. So there's nothing more to go on the story.
Yep.
Yeah. And the character select screen is nicely balanced now. So if they don't add any more, it won't look weird. But I don't know, if you're going to put this out, it feels like you've kind of revamped the game enough. You could stand to put a couple more characters in it later.